How to become influential by avoiding people. Introduction. The networking trap, or how to waste your life on canapes. Let me paint you a picture. You're at a networking event. Someone named Brad is telling you about his disruptive startup for the third time. You're holding a warm beer and a sad piece of cheese. Your face hurts from fake smiling. And you're wondering if this is really how successful people build influence, by pretending to care about strangers' elevator pitches. Spoiler alert, it's not. Here's the dirty secret: the networking industrial complex doesn't want you to know. Some of the most influential people in your field haven't physically touched grass in weeks, and their influence is growing faster than Brad's will ever be. Why? Because they figured out that influence isn't about how many business cards you collect. It's about creating value once and letting it multiply while you're in your pajamas eating cereal at 2 p.m. Welcome to asynchronous influence, where your ideas do the networking for you, and the only small talk you need to master is with your houseplants. The asynchronous influence framework, or how to win while everyone else is losing at mingling. Traditional influence is a pyramid scheme for your time. You give everyone a little piece of yourself until there's nothing left, and somehow you're supposed to be influential while running on fumes and scheduling quick coffee chats until 2037. Asynchronous influence is different. It's creating something valuable once and watching it work harder than you ever could. It's the difference between being a street performer, present, exhausting, limited audience, and being Netflix, everywhere, effortless, infinite scale. Think about the math. You write one comprehensive blog post, 10,000 people read it over 2 years. That's 10,000 instances of influence. Now, how many networking events would you need to attend to meet 10,000 people? And how many of those people would actually remember you weren't just another marketing guy? Exactly. The math isn't even close. It's not even the same sport. Strategy 1. Create evergreen content that does the talking, so you don't have to. The first commandment of avoiding people while becoming influential is simple: make things that speak for you when you're not in the room. Actually, especially when you're not in the room, because let's be honest, you're better on paper. Write the definitive guide on something so specific that Google has no choice but to worship you. Not social media tips. That ship sailed in 2012 and crashed into an iceberg of mediocrity. Write the complete guide to Instagram Reels algorithm changes for B2B SaaS companies in regulated industries. Is it narrow? Yes. Will everyone in that niche bookmark it and treat you like a prophet? Also yes. Create tutorials, frameworks, templates, or tools that solve actual problems. Every time someone shares your work, you're building influence while doing literally anything else: sleeping, gaming, staring at the ceiling, contemplating existence. Try doing that at a networking mixer where Brad is still talking about synergy. Here's the beautiful part: compound influence. That blog post you wrote in 2023? Still working for you in 2027. Still showing up in search results. Still being referenced. Still building your reputation. Meanwhile, the business cards from that conference are buried in a drawer somewhere, next to your dreams of traditional networking success. Strategy 2. Master written communication, because your personality isn't going to cut it. If you're going to avoid face-to-face interaction, and you should, because it's terrible, you need to be absolutely lethal with written communication. Not good. Not decent. Not better than average. You need people to screenshot your emails and send them to their teams saying, "This is how you explain complex concepts without making me want to die." Your emails, documentation, forum comments, and social media posts are your networking events now. Except better, because you get unlimited takes, an edit button, and you don't have to maintain eye contact or remember anyone's spouse's name. Write with the kind of clarity that makes people suspicious. They should think, this is too clear. What's the catch? The catch is that you spent 45 minutes editing a 3-paragraph email while they were at happy hour making small talk about whether it's going to rain. And here's your secret weapon: always provide 10x more value than expected. Someone asks a simple question. Destroy them with a comprehensive answer: examples, resources, screenshots, and possibly a small manifesto. You're not just answering, you're demonstrating competence so aggressively that they have no choice but to remember you as that person who actually knows what they're talking about, unlike literally everyone else. Strategy 3. Build a content moat. Make yourself unavoidable. A content moat is what happens when you create so much valuable, interconnected content that trying to research your topic without running into you is like trying to visit Italy without seeing pasta. It's technically possible, but why would anyone bother? Pick your medium based on your strengths, not what some guru on LinkedIn told you was the future. Hate being on camera? Cool, don't make videos. Love writing? Build your empire with words. The goal is sustainability, not self-torture disguised as personal growth. The magic happens when someone researches your topic and keeps finding you. Not because you're physically everywhere, exhausting, but because your ideas are digitally everywhere, efficient. First they find your blog post. Then your Twitter thread. Then your GitHub repo. Then your guest article. Eventually they think, who is this person and why do they know everything? And here's where it gets chef's kiss perfect. With a strong content moat, people come to you. You don't network, you get discovered. You don't pitch yourself, people slide into your DMs asking if you do consulting. This is influence on easy mode, and the only people who tell you it doesn't work are still spending their evenings at networking events wondering why nothing's happening. Strategy 4. Strategic presence, not constant presence. Scarcity is your love language. The masses think influence requires constant visibility. The masses are wrong about most things, including this. You don't need to tweet 47 times a day like you're fighting for your life. You need to tweet occasionally with insights so sharp they could cut glass. You don't need to comment on every discussion, just the ones where you can drop knowledge so valuable that people save the comment for later. This is high impact, low frequency engagement. When you do show up, it's an event. Your scarcity makes people pay attention. When you finally break your 3-week silence with a perfectly crafted observation, people stop scrolling. They think, oh, they're speaking, this must be important. Compare this to the person who posts 12 times a day. Their wallpaper. Background noise. Digital pollution. You're the rare earth mineral of content creators. Valuable precisely because you're not everywhere all the time, desperately seeking validation through engagement metrics. Strategy 5. Leverage other people's audiences, steal, but make it legal. Here's a beautiful truth, you don't need to build an audience from zero. You can borrow someone else's audience through the ancient art of creating things so good they want to share it because it makes them look smart. Write guest posts. Contribute to open source projects with visibility. Answer questions on Stack Overflow or Reddit where your target audience is already hanging out, probably procrastinating. Create resources that established creators want to share because it benefits everyone involved. You're not begging for favors. You're not leveraging relationships. You're creating undeniable value that people want to distribute. It's like being a drug dealer, except legal and your product is useful information instead of controlled substances. And the beautiful part? Most of this happens asynchronously. You submit. They publish. Their audience discovers you. And at no point did you have to make small talk, remember someone's kids' names, or pretend to enjoy networking mixer pizza that tastes like cardboard's disappointing cousin. The dark side, what this approach can't do, reality check time. Let's pause the sarcasm for 30 seconds and be honest, asynchronous influence isn't magic, and it won't solve all your problems. I know, shocking. This approach is slower initially. Building influence through content takes months or years, not weeks. If you need immediate results because you're desperately trying to find clients or you're 3 months from being homeless, this isn't your salvation. This is the long game for people who can afford to play the long game. Some opportunities genuinely require face-to-face interaction. Complex negotiations, certain partnerships, actual leadership roles where people want to know you're not a bot, these need real-time human connection. You can minimize it down to 10% of your time, but that 10% probably still exists. And let's be real, some people will never take you seriously until they meet you in person. It's irrational, it's annoying, but it's true. There will be moments where you need to put on real pants, leave your fortress of solitude, and actually interact with humans. The goal isn't to become a hermit, okay, maybe that is your goal, but it's not realistic. It's to make 90% of your influence building happen asynchronously so the 10% of people time is strategic instead of soul-crushing. Conclusion: the quiet revolution, or how to win without leaving your house. Traditional influence is a hamster wheel designed by extroverts who think energy is unlimited and small talk is enjoyable. It requires constant availability, endless relationship maintenance, and a personality type that approximately 4% of the population actually has naturally. But here's what they don't tell you: influence isn't about charisma, availability, or your ability to remember names at conferences. It's about creating undeniable value, being consistent enough that people trust you, and making it ridiculously easy for people to discover why you're worth paying attention to. By focusing on asynchronous content and strategic presence, you can build influence that survives platform changes, outlasts trends, and grows even when you take a 3-week break to binge-watch shows and question your life choices. You can be influential on your terms, in your time, without sacrificing your soul to the networking gods who demand you attend their temple, a holiday and conference room with bad lighting. The people who told you networking is essential were only half right. Connection is essential, but connection through ideas, through value, through consistently showing up with things worth paying attention to. And all of that can happen while you're comfortably avoiding people, which is really the dream, isn't it? So go build your content moat. Write that definitive guide. Create those resources people wish existed. Show up strategically when it matters. And watch as influence finds you instead of you chasing it through crowded events where Brad is still trying to explain his blockchain solution for pet grooming. The future of influence is asynchronous. And for those of us who'd rather create than network, who'd rather write than small talk, who'd rather be competent than popular, that future is already here, and it's beautiful. Now close this tab and go create something valuable. Your influence won't build itself, but at least you can build it in your pajamas without ever having to shake Brad's clammy hand. Welcome to the resistance. Population, you, your laptop, and a concerning amount of coffee. Thanks for watching. And if you like our content, don't forget to share and subscribe.